Planning for Learning and Managing Learning Environments Holistic Assessment Task 3. The designing of secondary education is constantly evolving to reflect the needs of students living in an ever-changing world. Teachers are given an incredible amount of power when they endeavour upon the task of educating children who are not their own. Because of this, education must be fair. These students have a right to an education, and they also have a right for this education to be consistent, challenging, rewarding, and in line with professional standards set by governing bodies to protect both students' and teachers' rights. This presentation will discuss my own personal pedagogical stance and how it has evolved through my pre-service teacher training, a critique of research literature about creating positive learning environments, planning for learning and assessment, an analysis of overarching principles for creating positive learning environments which nurture holistic well-being, a discussion of Mle standards, as well as a discussion about classroom design, routines and rituals, learning and conduct, expectations and consequences. First, we will look at my personal pedagogical stance. A pedagogical stance is always deeply seated in a teacher's own history, and I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. School was one of the most magical times of my life. The teachers I had inspired me to become a lifelong learner and instilled in me a passion for showing others how amazing and useful learning can be. However, there were obstacles for me. I could only study from home, so that ruled out a Bachelor of Education, as there is no such degree that can be completed online. After a lengthy discussion with an academic advisor, I was advised that I could do an undergraduate degree and then do a Master of Teaching, all of which could be completed online with the exception of practicum placements. This was fantastic news. My dream could be fulfilled, although it would take 4.5 years of full-time study, as long as I didn't fail any units. I knew I could do it, because if you want something bad enough, you will do anything to make it happen. After 3 years, I completed my Bachelor of Arts and majored in Literary Studies and sub-majored in History and Philosophy. It was time for the teaching component, the light at the end of the tunnel. I went into my teacher education like most others, with rose-coloured glasses on. I believed teaching was going to be a philosophy session of me imparting information upon impressionable students. Of course, teaching is this, but so much more, including the curriculum, differentiating the curriculum, managing behaviour in the classroom, following teaching theories and strategies, and creating assessments, all the while ensuring all of these components encompass a positive attitude and holistic well-being for a positive learning environment. That is a lot to remember and a lot to take on. However, I'm learning that as a teacher, if I have the passion for helping students learn, then I can do all of this. Because the bottom line is, my teaching will have a direct influence on these students' lives. That is a very powerful position not to be taken lightly. My evolving pedagogical stance at this stage embraces the following articles, which I will unpack individually after their introduction. 1. Incorporate a humanistic teaching style that includes constructivism. 2. Maintain firm guidelines for classroom behaviour. 3. Acknowledge that all students learn differently. 4. Understand both students and teachers are on a lifelong journey that never ends. 5. The teacher should always use growth mindset phrases when communicating with students. And 6. Acknowledge that students come from a range of different backgrounds, including cultural, religious, and socio-economic.
Created using Powtoon.